What's up, everyone? Welcome to finale of Octopode Gladiator of Nem. This has been a really long time since the last stream, which I think was in like September. So like over 3 months. So this character's been parked for a long time. But should be... why is this... Oh, I know why. I know why. It's because I played Infra Arcana. I think I streamed Infra Arcana at least once in between. So I guess it may have not have been 3 months since I've streamed. But feels like it's been 6 months. Oh, it's up lightly. Crawl dream about a species. I've had crawl dreams, but they're all pretty weird. I was wondering if I had finished Crypt on this character or not. So I guess I've just stepped into Zot and I haven't done anything. I need to really remind myself. There's the char dump. Looks like I have a backup Trishula of Holy Wrath. That's pretty cool. I'll probably end up like mostly using that on Zod 5 since it's a little bit of extra damage. Well, it's got less slaying, but the 1 base damage should still make it a little bit better. And obviously Alec does actually I don't know, it's just did Alec. I actually don't even know how much it does, but anyway, I think it would win versus like an Orb of Fire, or anything with our Alec for that matter. Obviously versus an Ancient Lich. I've got to remind myself what this character has. How are we on RF? How are we doing that? Got a protection for fire, got another ring of fire, but a ring of ice. It's telling me we've only got RF1. So, why do I have... I mean, it seems like not the most ideal setup here. Ring of Fire and Ring of Ice. Because the Ring of Ice is not doing anything other than making the Ring of Fire worse, and... I mean, I'm not using any Fire or Ice spells. Looks like I got Infest and Borg's Reviv. Borg's Reviv is great, so that's a huge bonus to keeping this character alive. Uncursed Ring of Fire, Staff of Fire. Well, am I carrying that? You know, sort of depends. I can't really damage an Orb of Fire with melee. I can take off the ring, and that's probably enough. What's my fighting at? My fighting is decent. I mean, it's really nice with these low AC species, though, if you can get RF3. It's really impactful. So I'm definitely going to go pick up... Thank you for the follow, Arekusanda Kuri. It's quite a name. And welcome. Uncursed Ring of Fire, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go grab that. Lamp of Fire, Book of Fire. Because I want a way to get... So what I can do is basically put that on like that. Now that's gonna put me at RC minus, so that's something that I do want to watch out for, of course. But if I need RF3, I have it. I guess with this derpy configuration I've got going on here, I actually have... The funny thing is, I mean, do I really, like... So if I just take off the Ring of Fire and take off the Ring of Ice, you know... minus Telly Ring is actually a solid play in Zot. So I did not transfer this game, by the way, over to Trunk. Labyrinth is gone. The pre-stream message mentioned check out the Trunk updates. So if you want a brief discussion of that, go to the crawl.devels.org. eBearing has written 2 of those so far. So we've had them, we've actually had them. But he and I have been doing a lot of work. Advil has been doing some stuff recently, some nice bug fixes, but he and I have been kind of pushing this release so far. His trap rework branch has been merged. He's close to merging rework of the ability usage, deck usage of Nemelex. Maybe a card rework will happen in the next version, or more card rework. He's reworking a couple of the cards too. Hey, what's up, Iggy? How's it going? Nice horse. And then yeah, I made a new portal, Gauntlet, and it replaces Labyrinth, and it's pretty good. Feedback's pretty positive so far. I haven't really heard anybody actually complaining. Well, some people did complain that, Labyrinths, I actually find them fun, blah blah blah, but we understood that was going to be a sentiment that some people expressed. So I guess I'm going to put on this this ring. If I take off, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to get this character figured out because I haven't played it in like 3 months, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. Yeah, minus Telly. So I was saying again what labyrinths are. I should probably turn down that. That's the old portal, Iggy. You've probably been in it a few times. It's the one with the Minotaur and the maze. Hey, what's up, Dissolution? How's it going? And yeah, Gauntlet is the new portal I made. That will have some forthcoming work, maybe a couple new maps. I think eBearing did say he was going to work on a map. I'm going to try to get at least one more once I really settle on an idea I'm happy with. Yeah, it's a fun portal. It's vaguely, it has some thematic similarities still. You still fight the Minotaur. And the Minotaur still guards the exit, but it does work differently in a number of ways. It still sort of does have this, choosing your path kind of notion, but it's done in a very different way. And I think that's way more interesting than, just solving a maze. Oh, Mud Days, yeah. Oh, the follow chain disillusioned. Thanks for the follow. I think Dissolution, I see you in retro streams all the time, don't I? And you're probably in Yogi's stream, what I'm guessing. Is it supposed to be harder? Iggy, yes, it is. It's sort of strictly harder in most ways. There's a very notable way in which it's not, but again, if you knew this, then it wasn't. So labyrinths, when you entered them before, you had to kill the Minotaur or get to the exit guarded by the Minotaur. So in the new portal, you're always presented with an exit, and then you have all these different arenas that you could potentially fight through, and you have to pick a path that runs through, say, 3 of them. And you get to look on all the current maps. You get to look at all the arenas and all the possible paths, and you get to basically assess the loot and the monsters, and then choose one. But there's an exit right when you enter. If you think that they're all too difficult, like you couldn't finish any of them for whatever reason, then you can exit. And the reason why I added that is because due to the variability of these arenas, the monsters inside, it's entirely possible that you might have a character who feels that it could beat the Minotaur, but maybe it just happens that the monsters generated in the arenas, there's like, in each path one where you feel like you couldn't make it through. Not really that likely, but to that end, I made sure to put an exit. Let's do Orb of Sot. Welcome. Orb of Zot, sorry, we're gonna go pick you up and return you to the surface pretty soon. Yeah, the choice thing was something where, thank you for the follow. Oh boy, it's another one. Discouraged. These names. I'm not even gonna try to finish pronouncing that one. It's beyond my pronunciation skills. Discrete error. Is that what that is? Oh yeah. Well, there you go. You know, given the fact that I like to program, you think I would have recognized that? Yeah, that was sort of the thing that I wanted to prevent, was where it was the thing where somebody trying to play to win would just have to say to themselves, you know what, I could get a lab where I just can't complete it and there's no exit except for the Minotaur, so I kind of wanted to avoid those assessments for people who were, you know, who knew how it worked. With the reason why the old labyrinth could kind of get away with that is because the only significant monster you ever fought, I mean, you did fight other monsters, but they were always much weaker. It was the Minotaur, and at least you can know exactly, even if it's only from like XV info or reading spoilers or just based on your previous play experience, you know how strong a Minotaur is or can be. But some of these new monsters that you could be forced to fight are things that are more sort of exotic. So we, based on sort of a suggestion from Mikey, I went in a direction of using some monsters that are relatively less used. Not all of the sets are like that, but quite a few of them are. I got a few other suggestions. If people have people who have played it, if they have good suggestions for monster sets, you can see, this is the Lua file. Look for tier 1 arena sets, I think is the variable, and then there's tier 2, so there's 2 difficulty tiers, and most of the maps start you out with a tier 1 arena in the path, in any path you would choose, and then often like the middle one will be like 50% chance each for the low tier or the higher tier difficulty, and then the last one is like always, but not quite all of them. There's a few different like path gimmicks that there's 4 different maps right now. You're still having to win even with lag-free server. You got to get Substyly to coach you, Disillusioned. Substyly or Iggy. If you want like the 100% win rate, you can get Iggy. If you want like, you know, the speedrunner perspective, you could ask Substyly. If you want the speedruns Castle Excellent perspective, you could ask Yogi the Monk. Okay, so I have 2 free ring slots. Yeah, I'm taking like forever to get this figured out. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to wear and what other rings would be good. I'm mostly sort of dilly-dallying around for the most part. So I've got an MR ring. This is actually somewhat decent. Minus Telly is actually kind of nice to walk around with, and you have to be able to, since you can't use controlled blink, you can only random blink, and as you know, it's a turn to take off the, or I guess 0.5, half a, 5/0, half of a normal speed turn to take off the ring. So it's really not a big deal. And if you're going to teleport, it's delayed anyhow. So yeah, that's a great way, Disillusioned, actually, is if you can get somebody to spectate you in real time as you're playing. That is a way I definitely recommend. A lot of people like guides, some people like watching videos. I think asking questions to other players live is pretty good, and getting live feedback while you're playing is pretty good. Those are really helpful things. Yeah, it's also the mentality, like, what you feel like doing, your approach to the game. This is a very sort of like try to win type game. It's very different from NetHack where it's like, hey, look at this silly thing. You know, it's not a sandboxy game at all. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, it's a very like tactical combat, try to win, try to survive this fight type of roguelike. And that does kind of make people emphasize playing it quickly, but playing it quickly can get you very dead. Ramping up your speed of play is something to do maybe once you've got some experience under your belt. It kind of rewards patience. You're no speedrunner. You know what? This character, okay. So I've realized it's coming back to me now. This character really just did not find this great selection of rings this game. Basically, the rings in the game. I mean, this is it. This is all the. These are all the rings, and you can see it's not much, and I'm kind of carrying them all. And general advice for streaking: slow down your play. I'd say there's all sorts of tactical advice. Really high level stuff is 1, slow down, 2, think, 3, be of the mindset of it's not so much like tactics when you're in danger, it's preemptively avoiding danger. A lot of the way I play is like that. You can play in a few different styles, in terms of what you accept for risk and streak quite well. Like, especially if you're just trying to like win a few games in a row. Like, I'm going for like, streaks. Like, there are not many people who have even gotten to 16 a 16 win streak. I'm going for like top 5 or even, as far as I can go. I'm definitely going for like top 5 streak. So I'm probably more cautious than you really need to be if you're just interested in getting some wins into your belt. But yeah, you want to have a mentality of avoiding. Okay, before I get manual of Evo. Oh, sick. Manual of Evo, huh? I really could use fighting more than any other thing, and I don't really need to go with Nem. Fire, enchant, armor, immolation, okay, I think we're ready to finally actually play some crawl. I hope. But yeah, a lot of my style of play is all about assessing a situation before it becomes dangerous and reacting. Now these guys are a real pain. Yeah, if it seems too risky, like going after loot, people love to go after loot, and those vaults are kind of designed to make you go after them so they can kill you. So these are one of the nastier monsters in Zot because dispelling, it does really good damage. It can dispel buffs that might be kind of important. One thing I need to assess now, after all that other assessment, is what decks are looking like. So we got some legendary summons, but not a lot. Just basically one full deck and whatever's left out of this one. Fortunately, we don't have as much as I would like. I have BVC, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what all I got spell-wise. Oh, looks good. Boy, I'm still not wearing an additional ring, am I? That's really weird. So I guess my free ring slot is going to be putting on Ring of Fire if Orb of Fire shows up. Depending on how I kill it, I don't actually need the full resistance if I don't go. Can I BTC this guy yet? No. Okay. Betrayal's good. Ah, Moth of Wrath. This is the kind of thing where 40. So he's going to berserk that guy, and that's going to create problems very quickly. This is a great example, by the way, of a situation where you want to act preemptively. A lot of people would sort of like do a few turns and then kind of assess, but you want to start right away because that Quicksilver is going to get berserked very fast. So to remind myself, my Evo is not that great. My chance for enslavement in one, if I had like a really high roll, a really high chance, I would probably go for it. Just go ahead and enslave it. It can still bite the Quicksilver Dragon and berserk it, which kind of sucks. But I don't really have a single route to kill it in one hit. What I might do then is go ahead and do some, what are our options here? 6 cards, it's probably not that safe to triple draw from it. I'll pick a new deck. I'll triple draw destruction. Oh god. Well, Vitriol will kill that. There we go. So Moth of Wrath down, that's great. You can see one shot there. Took a nice little chunk of HP. Oh, we got the air elemental. Try some BVC. That air elemental will tie him down a little bit. Obviously, I spoke too soon. Okay. Yeah, that killed him. So I figured it would. This is going to make a lot of noise, so I want to be aware. How's our digging looking? Digging is looking decent. Okay, Stormcaller. What's our chance on this bad boy? He's purple. So these things will smite you. They're not amazing to leave alive. They're also kind of hard to kill in like one turn. So that's not so hot either. So this was a somewhat nasty entrance because it had the Moth of Wrath. It had apparently an entire Drac pack. What I might like to, a place I might like to be is maybe digging a kill hole would be nice and convenient. Actually, I still can do that. I just have to get over there, but Mr. Stormcaller is definitely going to smite me up really good. Let's spell power on Swift while we're at it. It's not great. Aha. There we go. Alright, this is pretty decent. Now I can decide what I want to do. I'll go ahead and dig another path, and then I can kind of mess around a little bit. Six-headed dragon. Sounds like Hydra Disillusioned. One of the offshoot levels. Probably you were in Swamp, would be my guess. Thing about that is you make sure you don't enter those are called layer branches. There's 4 layer branches that contain that are earlier ones. You only get 2 per game. And then there's Slime, which is one where you may not do it ever. It's for like way at the end of the game. And that little order entry was written by Elliptic. It's a thank you for the follow, Malacante. It's a good reference for what's a safe order to do them, and you'll see that it goes like layer from once you find layer, do layer, and then after that D12, then go to Orc, then finish all of dungeon, and then the S3 is talking about those layer branches. That's why it says at the end S means shoal snake, spider swamp. So possibly you were doing it too early if you hadn't done all those things. You want your character to be as strong as possible because those branches are tricky. Do I have bozos? Rip. Do I have regen? I do. Oh, another Quicksilver, huh? Well. Yeah, this is the risk with this. Looks like I hit him pretty well. Now I can't really use destruction necessarily point blank. Oh, I can do this though. But as you can see how much he can damage you for a character like this. Now, I haven't used Infestation yet, but I also don't have a situation where I'm all that well situated to use it. Of course. Pack is full, huh? Beam? Yeah, you can find somebody that has beam. Just go to their chat and then type subscribe. There's a spam bot that's called, I think it's called Meme, that this troll is running. I don't recommend you use that one. But my bot is called Beam. And yeah, if you can find anybody who has it in their chat, and just type subscribe, and it will watch your games. Boy, pack is full. Trying to remember why is... Well, I guess this is what we got. This is the Nemelex hassle. It's full inventory all the time. Even Octopode. I mean... Yeah, I mean, Octopodes don't really have a benefit because you remember they have all these rings, right? So... In fact, they probably have it worse. Because they've got 2 ring slots, and then they've got another 6 ring slots, but they're missing body armor, boots, gloves, and a cloak. So I guess it's even worse for them. Yeah. Pack is full. Alright, we gotta drop some stuff. Staff of Air. Oh, is that my only Arlec? It probably is, yeah. Well, sirree. This is,